Imagine tuning into the Oscars and watching like a surreal hand-drawn indie flick just completely sweep the floor with a billion-dollar superhero blockbuster.
Right, which never happens.
Exactly. It never happens. But that is exactly the kind of disruption we just saw at the 2026 Anime Awards. So today we are doing a deep dive into a huge stack of sources, critic reviews, industry blogs, global fan polls.
And our mission here isn't just to, read you a list of winners.
No, we are tracking a total collapse of the traditional hero's journey formula. Because the streaming era has basically armed the underdogs, and they are actively rewriting the rules of modern storytelling for you.
Yeah, and the undeniable proof of that rule-breaking is, Dandadan taking Anime of the Year.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Studio Science Saru didn't just win, they completely rejected the industry's obsession with, hyper-realistic, perfectly proportioned animation.
Right, they went completely in the other direction.
Exactly. They leaned into what makes animation unique, that eccentric, fluid, almost liquid-like movement.
Which means they aren't treating characters like rigid 3D models. So instead of sticking strictly to standard reference sheets, the animators are actively stretching and squashing the line work frame by frame.
It's incredible to watch.
It really is. It's like jazz compared to classical sheet music, It's messy, it bends, but it carries so much more raw energy.
And that chaotic energy perfectly matches Okarun, who took Best Main Character. I mean, he isn't some chosen warrior with a cape.
No, definitely not.
He's just this deeply anxious kid trying to survive high school and, alien encounters. It sends a clear message that audiences just crave vulnerable authenticity over a bulletproof savior.
Right, and that craving for authenticity is forcing directors to completely rethink how they pace a show, whether it's a massive brawl or just a quiet dialogue scene.
Oh, for sure. Take Sakamoto Days winning Best New Series. The challenge there was translating these frantic manga panels into coherent on-screen action.
Which is notoriously hard to do.
It is. And they achieved it not by just adding more explosions, but by manipulating rhythm. They actually synced the camera pans to the exact speed your eye would read a comic panel.
Wow, so turning a barrage of absurd punches into like a cohesive musical beat.
Exactly. It really grounds the impossible physical stakes. But the judges rewarded psychological stakes just as heavily this year.
Yeah, look at Oshinoko winning Best Director for the stage play arc. The pacing there was terrifying because the director just weaponized silence.
And that claustrophobic framing.
Yes. By holding uncomfortably tight close-ups on the actors' faces for an extra 3 seconds of dead air, they completely blurred the line between the characters acting in a play and their actual reality.
And that deliberate, suffocating pacing gave you, the viewer, room to actually sit with the characters' internal struggles.
Which is the direct reason Akane Kurokawa took Best Supporting Character.
Right. Her vulnerability wasn't just in the dialogue. The animation timing forced you to actually experience her isolation.
Okay, but I want to challenge this overarching narrative just a bit here.
Sure, go for it.
If the industry is crowning all this eccentric line work, offbeat rhythm and heavy psychological silence, it kind of makes it sound like pure, high-budget visual polish is just dead.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, are the judges just punishing traditional high-fidelity artistry now?
I get why you'd think that, but no. The Best Animation winner proves traditional polish is still thriving. It's just evolving.
Okay, how so?
Well, Solo Leveling Season 2 took that category because it set a completely new benchmark for digital compositing during its dungeon raids.
Right, and for anyone who isn't an animator, digital compositing is essentially how they combine all the different visual elements into a single final frame.
Exactly.
Think of it like stacking sheets of stained glass. You have the background painted on one layer, the character on another layer, and then the magical lighting effects on a third. The compositor blends them together.
That is a brilliant way to visualize it. And what Solo Leveling did was use that stacking process to dynamically alter shadows on the characters in real time.
As the magical lighting shifted.
Yeah. It wasn't just flat color. The characters actually felt like they were moving through a three-dimensional, terrifyingly dark cave. It was a sheer technical achievement in lighting.
And we really can't ignore how that technical mastery extended to the audio either.
Oh, definitely not.
Frieren. Beyond Journey's End took Best Score, and they managed to capture a completely abstract concept, which is the literal passage of time.
It was brilliant. They established these beautiful sweeping motifs early on and then subtly slowed their tempo.
And stripped away instruments as the season progressed. You could audibly feel the years just slipping away.
an absolute masterclass in subtle auditory storytelling. But the awards also prove there is still plenty of room for immediate, punchy audio.
Oh yeah, Kaiju Now. 8, taking best opening with that hyper-vibrant, viral Saturday morning hook.
So catchy.
So synthesizing everything we've unpacked today, the message is pretty clear. The traditional safe shonen formula just isn't the guaranteed path to the podium anymore.
Right, the industry is rapidly diversifying into strange, emotional, and heavily experimental territory, because that is what you, the audience, are actually connecting with.
The underdogs prove that taking massive creative risks really does pay off on the biggest stage.
It absolutely does.
Which leaves me with a final thought for you to mull over.
Yeah.
If anime is finding this kind of explosive mainstream success by abandoning the safe hero tropes in favor of eccentric, boundary-pushing psychology,
Yeah.
how long until Western live-action television is forced to adopt these exact same wild, risk-taking structures just to keep your attention?